Hello, my name is Kate Loving-Shank at katelovingshank.com, author of the Prayer Prescription series, and also the creator of Bringing Death Out of the Closet, Cyber Death Conversations. One of the topics that seems to distress most of the world is suicide and depression, and it so much is not understood about those topics. So I hope today to just shed a little bit of insight and action plans, and I dare say that every human on the planet, or at least in the civilized world, has been depressed at least once or more in their lives. And there are several causes why this might be true. Okay, let me do a little something here. I started a little late today because I had some technical difficulties, but I'm just happy to be here, and we'll pass this around for people to see and learn from. But believe it or not, people who attempt suicide are not thought to be mentally ill, and even the people who attempt it and succeed at it are not seen as mentally ill people. Now, they are depressed, and depression is a psychiatric illness, but they are not considered mentally ill. We may have had family members who committed suicide, and celebrities kill themselves all the time. The most recent mind-shattering example would be Robin Williams. And I have read several things about how people of his stature may think he has no other way out. And actually people who are severely depressed and who do consider suicide are constantly attracted to suicide as the only alternative left in their lives. So we can always find examples to prove the reality of our hopelessness and our helplessness, and also to prove the reality of our excitement about life and our will to live. Suicide becomes appealing when a person gets into a frame of mind of impending doom or of unavoidable catastrophe. And then the decision to commit suicide suddenly becomes hugely appealing because a decision to act has been made. And that's really very interesting to me, because so far in a person's life, when they're feeling that down and that hopeless and that in so much despair, they haven't made a decision about how they can get out of the mindset that they have found themselves in. But to make a decision to commit suicide is a decision, and it often will lift them up to new planes of excitement, like, oh my gosh, I have found a way, and by God, I'm going to do something about it. So by making a decision to act, and there's been a problem solved, somehow the will to live has been strengthened, even in the face of the decision to commit suicide. So getting something done successfully, even if it is a small success, or successfully completing a creative work of art, or completing a work of writing or dancing, or an athletic achievement, can create enough good feeling of endorphins to rock feelings of hopelessness and helplessness right out of our lives. So give yourself the benefit of the doubt. You are worth it. You are children of God. And recent research has shown that there are 4, and I'm sure there are more, causes of depression. Interestingly enough, in the teenage population, teenagers are constantly having accidents, maybe sports injuries, and football would be a very good example of getting knocked over and hitting themselves on the head. And teens are 3 times more likely to suffer from depression, especially after they've had a concussion from sports injuries or from rollicking around with their friends or wrestling with their brothers or what have you. So a mild brain injury occurs every 21 seconds in the teenage age group. So screenings are crucial, and not only screening for concussion, but screening for depression in that realm of things. Chronic stress causes brain changes that results in depression. And I think that chronic stress is something we in the civilized societies, Western society that we find ourselves, is very, very common. I think if we're not analyzing how we're feeling, if we're not analyzing the thoughts that go through our minds, maybe even through meditation, trying getting into a state of mind where we're not thinking at all, that chronic stress is very prevalent in our society. And of course, meditation, exercise, getting up and moving around is hugely important. Now, in terms of the concussion, that would be brain injuries, but immune cell dysfunctions that occur outside the body, throughout the body, and of course, every cell is communicating with each other. It's not like cells that exist outside of the brain are not communicating with the cells that exist in the brain. But immune cell dysfunction is a huge reason why people find themselves in a chronic state of depression. And studies have shown that inactivity, especially after surgery, there's been certain studies that have analyzed people after cardiac surgery. If they haven't gotten up to move, if they're not walking when they should, or if they're not at least moving their legs and moving around, they tend to get into huge depressive states. So I'm not saying that what I'm about to talk about is a cure for depression by any means, but I want to talk about a natural remedy that has helped me. So I have decided that there's probably nothing more important than health, obviously. And I know it actually is a cliche to say this, but my niece helped me to start taking this wonderful product called Thrive through Lavelle. And what I have noticed within a week that I had chronic neck pain for at least 30 years. It all started actually 34 years ago when I entered nursing school, and that pain is gone. And I feel a tremendous relaxation throughout my shoulders and my neck and my body, and I don't have any pain in my body at all. And I had noticed over the last 2 years a free-floating sense of anxiety that was rooted in. It started with a sense of financial insecurity after I took a nursing job, and at that job was really mercilessly bullied by other nurses. And that chronic anxiety, that feeling of just this free-floating sense of maybe an inability to, well, I would call it worry, it's gone. And mental clarity is another wonderful byproduct, a sense of focus and concentration, a clean sense of energy in my eyes. I feel like I don't know, just feel more alive. And being alive is certainly more preferable than feeling kind of, well, just overwhelmed with too much to do, basically. I work at nights, and I was falling asleep at the wheel and had some problems with that. I mean, as you can imagine, that's terrifying to wake up and see that you're about to crash into something. Thankfully, I never did. Haven't had that experience in the last week. I've had chronic headaches and haven't had that experience either. So I just wanted to let you know that by going to kateshank.la-vel.com, you can easily get a customer account and just look over the page and see what you would like to try. If you would like to try, you don't have to become a promoter in order to sign up to customers in order to get your Thrive for free, which is something most companies have never. This is the first time a company has ever done that. And apparently the originators of this company have been involved in what is called multi-level marketing for over 20 years, and they have figured out a way to make multi-level marketing work for everybody involved. So you can become a customer and just sign up 2 other customers and get your Thrive for free. The whole idea is, what I really like is the patches that they call them foam patches, foam. And hey, where are you? There it is. Sorry. There it is, right there. I'm getting sort of confused, and I don't want to do a striptease act here. Oh, there it is. There it is. I can keep this patch, and they call it a foam, on for 24 hours. And you might have heard of Garcinia garbogia, which is something that Dr. Oz recommends. It is a fruit extract, and it tends to block fat synthesis, and it works. And it's not a diet pill per se at all. It's a tablet that so you would take 1 or 2 tablets upon awakening in the morning. You 30 minutes later would take the shake, and 1 or 2 scoops that they provide you. You can keep using it in the days going by, and then you can use the foam and put the foam on about a few minutes after you take your shake and be going on with your day. Now, of course, it's a little more complicated if you're a night shift person, as I am. So I kind of take this, I usually use the foam patch, and I use that before I go to work at night. So there you have it. KateShank.Lavelle.com. KateShank.Lavelle.com, and take a look at the site and see what you think. And please call me, get in touch with me through any number of different avenues. You can go to my website, KateLovingShank.com/contact, and contact me that way. That's easy enough. KateLovingShank.com/contact, and get in touch with me that way. All right. Thank you. Depression is a very dangerous frame of mind. I know that. I remember very well when my mother became depressed. 1 year before her death, she was so depressed she couldn't get out of bed, and she was just miserable. And it really did lead into some very chronic physical conditions. She had a stroke, and then she had a heart attack, and then she did pass on. It was one of those things that could have been avoided, was preventable, with different ways of helping her. And anyway, in those days they didn't have antidepressants, but they take so long to work that I don't think she would have ever taken them to begin with. She wasn't that kind. She was more of a vitamin herbal person. Thank you very much. Love to all. Peace on earth. Namaste. Love.